Hello and welcome to the channel. Now, if you've been following along, you know that this is my 2000 Z28 Camaro. You also know that it has some 243 ported LS6 heads, 216, 224 cam, some long tube headers, LS6 intake, and much more. The car made 380 rear wheel horsepower and ran 12.6 at 111 miles an hour in the quarter mile. I love the car. It is a total beast, except when you put that much power into an LS1, you're bound to break something. So my transmission has been slipping and my rear end has been howling as soon as I did the work on this car. So I got both of those things fixed, and that's what this video is about. I want to show you the differences between my stock transmission and the built transmission that I got, which has a 3000 Pro torque converter, a shift kit, and it's a pro race build from Frank Cahal at Cahal Performance Transmissions, and he's located in Delaware. I'm extremely happy with the transmission as well as the gear change. I went with some Motive 342 performance gears. The stock ratio on this car was 323, so a little bit of a jump there, and I can definitely feel it between the gears in the rear end and the transmission, torque converter, all that. The car is a new beast. I'm having to relearn how to drive it. It is so torquey. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and take a drive now. I drove the car before I had the transmission put in to get a baseline for driving habits, to show you what it's like to drive with a torque converter, because I had never driven one. And I found myself on YouTube finding multiple videos to see what it was like to drive a torque converter, whether I was going to like it or not. So I want to pass that information along to you. So let's take for a drive. I'll do some before and after comparisons, and then we'll do some rips. I tried to give you guys a little bit of perspective of where I was driving instead of just showing the speedometer, but apparently I don't have enough attachments for all my GoPro stuff for it to work, so this is what you get. So the transmission doesn't really slip unless I'm wide open throttle with it, and I'll show you guys right here how bad this is slipping. Wow, it's only done that a few times. It's supposed to be in second gear there, and then it just shot up. That wasn't transferring basically any power to the ground just now. So do about 25% throttle. One thing about this torque converter is driving on any sort of an incline, you have to be pretty high RPMs to even maintain your speed. So once this light turns, I'm going to go ahead and take off, and I'm at about a 5-degree incline just right off the bat here, and it lasts for about 100 yards or so. So I'll be able to show you what it's like to accelerate on an incline here. About half throttle, and I'm keeping up with traffic, so it's alright. We're over the hump now, but if I'm going 50 miles an hour and I get to an incline like that, it has to be at about 25 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs to be able to maintain the speed that I'm going. One of the things that I love about this torque converter is there are no more dead power zones. So what I mean by that is, before, if I was driving at 40, 45 miles an hour and I was to stomp the gas, I'd downshift into second, but I'd be at the very bottom of second. So all it would do is just wah, and it would bog until I got up to that RPM range at about 60 miles an hour, and then I'd start kicking in with my torque. Now, I hit it at 40 miles per hour, right in the power zone immediately, no lag whatsoever. I can do a roll race from 40 if I want now. I would have never dreamed of doing that before I got this torque converter, and I'll show you right here the differences there. All right, watch how it just kicks it right into the power zone. That pull from earlier wasn't very good, so I wanted to give you another view of this thing. So quick! That was fishtailing so bad there. It's fun though. Alright, so hopefully that gives you a better idea of what it's like to drive a car with a stalled transmission. Like I said, going into this project, I have never driven a stalled transmission, so I found myself on YouTube searching hundreds of videos with daily driving. I was looking at videos that weren't even my car just to get an idea of what it was like. But no one really did a before and after, so hopefully this will help you. So going into my overall review of the entire project, so like I said, I did the gears and the transmission at the same time, so it's a little bit hard to differentiate the two, but I'll try and break them up as good as possible. Starting off with the transmission, love it. Like I said, there are 0 dead zones now. As soon as you hit the throttle, you're in the power zone no matter what mile per hour you're going, and it's just, you can feel the torque all the way through. The power that it's putting down to the ground is completely different from what it was before. I mean, going up all the way to from low RPMs up, you can just feel that it's putting so much more power to the ground. And I've been doing a lot of this because it's getting squirrely, and it's time to get some wider tires. Apparently, I have 265s on, but it ain't cutting it. So, torque converter, love it. Transmission, love it. One thing I was worried about is I did get a shift kit in the transmission, and I did a lot of research on this, and I actually wasn't going to do it. But the builder of my transmission, like I said, Frank Cahal, insisted on a shift kit. He would not warranty it otherwise. You know, he basically told me, if you want a transmission that's going to last a year or two, get one without a shift kit, but I can't warranty that. You know, the way that these transmissions have to be built strong is they have to be race built, basically. And so that was kind of my determining factor, and this guy is known for building some of the strongest and best transmissions, so I wanted to go with him. I was recommended by multiple people. Go on the forums and look up Cahal Performance Transmissions. He is up and he is doing business. It is 2018. I was just talking with him the other day. Give him a shout, give him a call, see what he can do for you. So like I said, with the shift kit, I went ahead and did it against my better judgment, and it ended up being okay. I'm happy that I did it. The shifts are unbelievably fast. It's totally changed that aspect of the car. Now I will admit, so I did the gears and the transmission at the same time, and the gears required 500-mile break-in period. With that 500-mile break-in period, I absolutely hated the shift kit because the car was not tuned yet, and I was having to drive it like a grandma, which it was shifting at about 2,000, 2,100 RPMs or so, and it would bang. I mean, I'd be driving and it would just throw you like that. So I was really unhappy with it at first, and I was hoping that it got better, and Jeremy Formato did my tune. He was able to fix up the tune a little bit, make that shift, it was just the 1-2 shift, make that shift a lot smoother. And then once the gears broke in a little bit, it became smoother at that point too. So I'm happy I went with it. Other people weren't as lucky as me though. My mechanic told me that I have one of the smoothest shifting transmissions with a shift kit he's ever had. And so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. I was lucky, you know, Frank, if you go with the same transmission that I did, the Pro Race from Frank Cahal, it was $17.50, plus you got to get it shipped, plus a torque converter, so, you know, it adds up, but for the value, it was great. For the rear end, I absolutely love it. You know, you'll be able to differentiate the differences between the transmission and the rear end based off of the low and mid-range torque. So I went from 323 to 342, and I got some Motive Performance gears. Absolutely loved them. I didn't want to go with the 373 because a lot of people lost some top-end speed, and, you know, I want to keep that. I want to keep as much as I want, but I gained that low-end and mid-range torque, and you can definitely feel it. Pulling out of a parking lot and giving a little gas while you're sideways is a huge difference, and I'm having to relearn how to drive the car in that aspect. Overall, I absolutely love the car. I love how it turned out. The transmission is great. Everything is running beautifully. I'm taking it to the track next week, which is February 1st, and I will have a video out showing the new times that I get with it, so we'll be able to see exactly what the differences in the torque converter makes. So I'll post that link in this description when I finish that video, so that if you're interested in doing this, you'll see what the actual ET and mile per hour differences will be for something if you have a similar build. So thank you for watching. As always, there'll be more content coming your way. I've been a little slow lately. I've been super busy, but stick with me, guys. You're gonna have awesome stuff coming your way. Thanks.